single day I feel it happening. The moving of the rocks, the tremors and the shocks. Heaven only knows which way it's coming from. But tomorrow's gonna come real soon. People all along the street stumble over on their feet, always falling down and down and down. Pilots in the windy sky, don't you ever wonder why we keep going round and round and round? Every single word you say, it takes me there. I've seen it on the news, I feel it in my shoes. I won't sleep at all until the work is done, for tomorrow's gonna come real soon. And when it comes, I will be there with my open arms. And when I feel it, I will know it can't do me harm. And when the world I know is gone, I'll be moving on. When we change, every single television's always on. People in the lines, all listening for signs. High up on the hills I hear the beating drums, for tomorrow's gonna come real soon. And when it comes, I will be there with my open arms. And when I feel it, I will know it can't do me harm. And when the world I know is gone, I'll be moving on. When we change, every single day I feel it happening. And if you don't believe, just look around and see. Heaven only knows which way it's coming from. But tomorrow's gonna come real soon. There was a time you thought it always for you. You saw the sun in the sky, you breathed the air, and you knew that the world was yours. It was something to have, it was all you could eat. You took all you could grab. Oh, what a time, what a sight to behold. You were more than alive, your ambitions were bold. You were high on a bluff, could not confess a mistake. You demanded the best, left the worst in your way. You could never be stopped, it was your moment. All the destiny talk, it kept you going. What an awful surprise to see it all flash through your eyes. Tonight we live in anarchy. Tonight the idols will fall. Tonight we live with the heartache, fooling like you roll it off. Tonight belongs to no one. Tonight is bigger than you. Tonight we're going to show them there's nothing that we will not do. These are the thoughts that we have in the dark while you're calling the shots. We're swimming with sharks in a battle royale, in a bevy of blows. Every bump in the road like a punch in the nose. one they despise, and the making demands. There is nowhere to run, they're at the front door. And now that you are the one that they have come for, what a horrible shock to be the new head on the block.
Hello! Hi everyone! Good night or afternoon or morning or evening or noon or dawn or dusk or twilight or Applejack. Hi everyone! How are y'all doing? I am Zoe, obviously. Good to see you too, everyone. It's really cool. There's like so many people. That's fun, you know. Flash shit. Oh god damn. Good, y'all good. I am excited to finish this book with you guys. And oh no, hold on a sec. That's not. I want the name to be. Actually, it's fine. Whatever. The name's like in front of the chat, and I was like, that doesn't look good, but it's fine. And being able to read the song title is a bit more important maybe than seeing the badges of someone that sent a message like 5 minutes ago. It's fine. It's fine. Good meowing, everyone. Some of you are gonna hate this, I feel, but I remembered a voice that I can do, and it sucks. I mean, I think it's really fun, but I think some of you are gonna be like, no. Hold on. Hello everyone. How are you doing? I am doing good. I am excited to read this story for you. So I can do that too. Microphones. That was. You can imagine that was like my voice before I became like a fully realized person AI. My speech trainer is gonna murder me. No, my speech trainer is gonna be like, wow, you're so versatile. You could do so many voices. You're incredible. Well, to be fair, she's told me that because I can do like so many like different voices and stuff, that's why I picked up like the more feminine voice much easier than most people do. So I mean, it's kind of a thing. If coming Microsoft Sam. So I remembered that I can do that today, so that's fun. And what else has happened today or since the last stream that I can talk about? Nothing at all. I think. I don't know. Anything interesting? I don't know. I don't think so. You know, COVID, so we're all stuck inside, so interesting stuff happens less frequently. You know? I think we can all understand that. So let's put on some music. I didn't forget. Well, I did forget until just this moment. Let's put on some music to listen to while we stream. Last time we did Animal Crossing, so we'll just do that again. But if anyone's like, oh, I know like some stuff that doesn't get you fucking banned on Twitch, that's really fitting for Alice in Wonderland, then like, oh, by all means, let me know. You know? And don't suggest the Doom soundtrack. Hard rock, well, that's basically the same thing. Optional. You actually did it. God damn it. I fucking knew someone would. I knew it. Okay. So, let's do a little recap for those who don't remember or weren't here last time. So, Alice was like, man, I'm so fucking bored. I'm gonna turn down this volume a little bit for me, I think, actually. I'm so fucking bored. If only I was doing something fun. What's that? A rabbit with a fucking waistcoat pocket in which it keeps a pocket watch? That's fucking wild. I'm gonna follow that rabbit. That rabbit knows what's up. Down the rabbit hole? You got it. Oh man, here I am falling. I'm gonna talk about bats and cats and the other side of the world and such things. And now I'm down here. Oh man, all these doors. Oh man, this one goes to a nice garden. I want to go there. Let me grow and shrink a whole bunch, and then fuck up, and then drown almost, but then not, and then do a fun race, and then what about bats and cats and rats? I don't think she's talked about rats actually. I don't think there's been any rats in. No, wait. She does talk about rats when she meets the mouse in the sea. She says that her cat Diana catches rats, which are like mice. So then the mouse was like, fuck you, bitch. And then she was like, oh, I'm so sorry. You're just so easily offended. Oh, it's your fault, actually, because Alice is a bitch. She did a fucking race, and then she was like, okay, done with the race. I'm gonna go now. Oh, what's that? It's the rabbit again. And the rabbit's like, go get me my shit. And she's like, okay. She goes to the house. She gets real big again, and then she fucks around there for a little bit, and she tortures a lizard. Then she gets real small, and she goes into the forest, and then she becomes a giraffe for a bit. Then she meets... No, wait, that's first. First she meets the caterpillar, and they're like assholes to each other. Yeah. Alice is privileged. She's from a rich family. So they're real fucking rude to each other. Then the caterpillar leaves, and it's like, eat this mushroom. And she's like, okay. And then she becomes a giraffe. And then, but a bird thinks she's a snake. And she's like, no, I'm a giraffe. Wait, actually, no, I'm a girl. Or am I? I don't know. She's very confused. She's got some, you know, she's got some. It's actually a metaphor for transgender. No, but maybe, but it's not. But could be. It might be. Anyway, then she stops being a giraffe. So it becomes normal, and then she finds the Duchess, who later gets one of my favorite scenes. That's going to be today. Your Tita turns you into a giraffe. That's so funny. I don't know why that's so funny. She meets the Duchess and she's like, oh man, I'm saying some dumb bullshit and fuck you, Alice, and here for my baby. And she's like, your baby's a pig now, bye. And then comes the Cheshire Cat, and the Cheshire Cat's like, hello. Remember? And it's like, we'll all meet here. Go you meet your Mad Hatter. And she's like, okay. And she goes to talk to the March Hare and the Mad Hatter, and they're also assholes, and she's assholes, and the Dormouse is an asshole. The Dormouse is just kind of there. And then she's like, fuck this, and she goes, and then she finally somehow she finds a door that's in a tree, and the door goes back to the. There was a dog. Oh, yeah. There was a puppy, and she plays with the puppy, and then she just leaves. The puppy is the most inconsequential part of a book that is already entirely 100% inconsequential, where nothing matters at all, and it's great. So she goes through the door, and she's back in the hall where she had the potion and the cake and the key and the door to the garden, and she's like, okay, now I know what to do. And then she uses her mind and also just a mushroom that she got to get to the perfect height, and then she can go in, and that's where we are. She's finally in the nice garden that she saw at the beginning. Yay, so beautiful. Let's read. I have here the book. ASMR. Very nice. And here we are in chapter. What number is that? Okay, chapter 8. Chapter 8. That works. The Queen's Croquet Ground. Here we go. Oh shit, hold on a second. Let me take you into my book nook. Ah, there we are. Hold on. Open door, blah, 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 blah. Book nook, here we are. So nice, right? Yeah. Alright, the Queen's Croquet Ground. Or is it Croquet? Is it Croquet or Croquet? It looks like it would be French, but it's like a British thing. So is it Croquet? Is it Croquet or Croquet? It's the former. Croquet. I wonder when Alice gets to smoke weed with her future idea. Who would that even be? What? She's the only... Who would that be? Croquet. It's the one that sounds the most fanciest, so it's Croquet, right? I was making a joke about the vibes there. Yeah, but that's just... She's a child and she's dreaming. Alice in Wonderland isn't about drugs. That's the coldest take ever. The one you can say with an English accent and your nose raised high. Yes, I'm playing some croquet. 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 You can do both. I don't... I'm just gonna keep saying croquet, I don't care. Okay, so here we go. It's the one that I said that was right. Croquet. The one, croquet. Okay, it's croquet. Okay, it's croquet. It's croquet. It's croquet. You see, the fancier the word, the more letters there are that you don't actually say. So it's croquet. I thought it was crochet. Why would it be crochet? It's a Q. It's a Q. Why would there be... Why would it be crochet? I mean, maybe. I mean, French is pretty weird. It's got a bunch of letters that you don't actually say, and it's got letters that you don't write, but you do say. Yeah, crochet is embroidery, right? It's croquet. It's besides, it's Wonderland. Anything can happen. It's fine. Let's start reading. Okay, here we go. Chapter 8, The Queen's Croquet Garden. Optional. I'm not. Shut up. It doesn't matter. A large rose tree stood near the entrance of the garden. The roses growing on it were white, but there were 3 gardeners at it, busily painting them red. Alice thought this was a very curious thing, and she went nearer to watch them. And just as she came up to them, she heard one of them say, "Look out now, Five! Don't go splashing paint over me like that!" "I couldn't help it," said Five in a sulky tone. Seven jogged my elbow. On which Seven looked up and said, "That's right, Five, always blame the others." You'd better not talk," said Five. "I heard the Queen say only yesterday you deserve to be beheaded." Famous line, famous only character trait that she has. Also, hi Ellie. I don't no, different queen. There are in fact multiple. I have a... What kind of garden would I have? I think I would just have a forest. I wouldn't settle for a garden. Just like a good wild forest, you know? So blah blah blah. Oh, you're gonna get your head cut off. "What for?" said the one who had spoken first. "That's none of your business, too," said Seven. "Yes, it is his business," said Five, and I'll tell him it was for bringing the cooked tulip roots instead of onions." Seven flung down his brush and had just begun, "Well, of all the unjust things," when his eye chanced to fall upon Alice as she stood watching them, and he checked himself suddenly. The others looked around also, and all of them bowed low. Ooh. On the Queen's Garden, fighting pit, gauntlets only. Bare hands, but punching is also accepted, but like, the gauntlets add points. We have a point system in the fighting pit. You know, flair and such, it counts. "Would you tell me, please," said Alice, a little timidly, "why are you painting those roses?" Five and Seven said nothing, but looked at Two. Two began, in a low voice, "Why, the fact is, you see, miss, this here ought to have been a red rose tree, and we put a white one in by mistake, and if the Queen was to find out, we should all have our heads cut off, you know. So, you see, miss, we're doing our best, afore she comes to..." At this moment, Five, who had been anxiously looking across the garden, called out, "The Queen! The Queen!" And I lost where I was in the book because I looked up. And the 3 gardeners instantly threw themselves flat upon their faces. There was a sound of many footsteps, and Alice looked around, eager to see the Queen. First came 10 soldiers carrying clubs. These were all shaped like the 3 gardeners, oblong and flat, with their hands and feet at the corners. Next the 10 courtiers. Another word that I wonder if I pronounced it right. Courtiers? Courtiers. These were ornamented all over with diamonds and walked 2 and 2 as the soldiers did. After these came the royal children. There were 10 of them, and the little dears came jumping merrily along hand in hand, in couples. They were all ornamented with hearts. Next came the guests, mostly kings and queens, and among them Alice recognized the White Rabbit. It was talking in a hurried, nervous manner, smiling at everything that was said, and went by without noticing her. Courtier? If you say so. Smiling at everything that was said, and went by without noticing her. Then followed a knave of hearts, carrying the king's crown and a crimson velvet cushion. On a crimson velvet cushion. Courtier? Okay. I probably don't even have to say it again, so it's fine. And last of all, this grand procession came the King and Queen of Hearts! It's caps lock, so I guess. That's really weird also, that's just like all caps lock in such like an old book. Alice was rather doubtful whether she ought not to lie down on her face like the three gardeners, but she could not remember ever having heard of such a rule at processions. And besides, what would be the use of a procession, thought she, if the people had all to lie down on their faces so that they couldn't see it? So she stood where she was and waited. When the procession came opposite to Alice, they all stopped and looked at her. And the queen said severely, "Who?" Queen voice. "Hello, I am the Queen of Hearts. Yes, that is me. This is what the Queen sounds like. Off with her head." That sounds pretty good, right? Does it sound good? In it, bruv, I'm the Queen, in it. Bit of racist, aren't I? When the procession came, and the Queen said severely, "Who is this?" She said it to the knave of hearts, who only bowed and smiled in reply. Oh, beautiful art that you guys can't see. Look at this art. I'm holding it up to you guys right now. Isn't it nice? Idiot! Said the Queen. Oh, good character establishing. Said the Queen, tossing her head impatiently. And turning to Alice, she went on, "What's your name, child?" "My name is Alice, so please your majesty," said Alice very politely, but she added to herself, "Why, they're only a pack of cards after all, I shouldn't be afraid of them." "And who are these?" said the Queen, pointing to the three gardeners who were lying around the rose tree. Roses don't even grow on trees, do they? I mean, like maybe they also do? I don't know. For you see, as they were lying on their faces and the pattern on their backs was the same as the rest of the pack, she could not tell whether they were gardeners or soldiers or courtiers or the three of her own children. Not the trees, yeah, okay. That's just Wonderland being fun. How should I know? Said Alice, surprised at her own courage. It's no business of mine. The Queen turned crimson with fury, and after glaring at her for a moment like a wild beast, began screaming, "Off with her head! Off!" "Nonsense!" said Alice very loudly and decidedly, and the Queen was silent. Damn. The King laid his hand upon her arm and timidly said, "Consider, my dear, she's only a child." The Queen turned angrily away from him and said to the knave, "Turn them over!" The knave did so, very carefully, with one foot. "Get up!" said the Queen in a shrill, loud voice, and the three gardeners instantly jumped up and began bowing to the King, the Queen, the royal children, and everybody else. "Leave off that!" screamed the Queen. "You make me giddy!" And then, turning to the rose tree, she went on, "What have you been doing here?" The Queen of Hearts is probably a turf. I'm at least 24% certain. I mean, yeah. I mean, like, definitely. May it please your majesty, said two in a very humble tone, going down on one knee as he spoke. "We were trying—" "I see," said the Queen, who had meanwhile been examining the roses. "Off with their heads!" And the procession moved on, three of the soldiers remaining behind to execute the unfortunate gardeners, who ran to Alice for protection. Hello, what's all this then? I'm the Queen of Hearts, ain't I? Is that like this shrill voice, is that annoying to hear? I can do a different one if it is. Although it does feel fitting, but you know, I don't want to be annoying. You shan't be beheaded, said Alice, and she put them into a large flower pot that stood nearby. The three soldiers wandered about for a minute or two, looking for them, and then quietly marched off after the others. "Are their heads off?" shouted the Queen. "Their heads are gone, if it please your Majesty," the soldiers shouted in reply. "That's right," shouted the Queen. "Can you play croquet?" The soldiers were silent and looked at Alice, as the question was evidently meant for her. It's just video game AI. It's like, must be nothing. Must be the wind. "Yes," shouted Alice. "Come on then!" roared the Queen, and Alice joined the procession, wondering very much what would happen next. It's a very fine day," said a timid voice at her side. She was walking by the white rabbit, who was peeping anxiously into her face. "Very," said Alice. "Where's the Duchess?" "Hush, hush," said the rabbit in a low, hurried tone. He looked anxiously over his shoulder as he spoke, and then raised himself upon tiptoe, put his mouth close to her ear, and whispered, "She's under sentence of execution." "What for?" said Alice. Did you say, 'What a pity'?" the rabbit asked. "No, I didn't," said Alice. "I don't think it's at all a pity." I said, "What for?" She's just like, "Fuck that bitch. She can die. It's fine." I said, "What for?" "She boxed the Queen's ears," the rabbit began. Alice gave a little scream of laughter. "Oh, hush," the rabbit whispered in a frightened tone. "The Queen will hear you. You see, she came rather late, and the Queen said..." Okay, now, by the way, I forgot what to box one's ears means. I looked it up the first time I read it, but now I forgot, and you know. Does anyone remember what that means? "Get to your places!" I'm just gonna keep reading while I wait for an explanation. "Get to your places!" shouted the Queen in a voice of thunder, and people began running about in all directions, tumbling up against each other. However, they got settled down in a minute or two, and the game began. Isn't it grabbing the attention of someone? Is that it? It feels like... I mean, it's probably not actually doing something with someone's ears, but is it grabbing someone's attention? I mean, I have a computer. I'm on a computer. Yeah, to tell them off. I thought it was something like that. Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was actually like hitting them or like pinching your ear or something. But yeah, it's slapping your ears. Okay. Another mystery solved. Good job, gang. I knew we could do it. To slap someone on the side of the head, usually as an informal punishment. Okay, alright. Get fucked, Queen. You deserve that. Alice thought she'd never seen such a curious croquet ground in her life. It was all ridges and furrows. The croquet balls were live hedgehogs, Sanic, and the mallets live flamingos, not Sanic. And the soldiers had to double themselves up and stand on their hands and feet to make the arches. The chief difficulty Alice found at first was in managing her flamingo. She succeeded in getting its body tucked away comfortably enough under her arm, with its legs hanging down, but generally just as she had gotten its neck nicely straightened out and was going to give the hedgehog a blow with its head, don't be mean to Sonic, it would twist itself round and look up in her face with such a puzzled expression that she could not help bursting out laughing. And when she had its head down and was going to begin again, it was very provoking to find that the hedgehog had unrolled itself and was in the act of crawling away. Beside all this, there was generally a ridge or a furrow in the way wherever she wanted to send the hedgehog to, and as the doubled-up soldiers were always getting up and walking off to other parts of the ground, Alice soon came... Lost where I was mid-sentence. Alice soon came to the conclusion that it was a very difficult game indeed. The players all played at once, without waiting for turns, quarreling all the while and fighting for the hedgehogs, and in a very short time, my hands are doing this thing. Stop. 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 Hold on. Oh wait, it stopped. Okay, cool, thanks. Yeah. My hands are my hedgehogs and flamingos. Without waiting for turns, quarreling all the while and fighting for the hedgehogs. And in a very short time, the queen... Is it just when it detects one hand? Okay, now it doesn't even undetect my other hand. Okay, Jesus Christ. Okay. Stop. God, what the heck's going on today? Yeah, don't worry. I'm hoping to have my code fixed by after Wednesday. So Thursday's stream, Minecraft stream on Thursday, should have we should see less difficulty then. Hopefully. Where was I? The players all played at once without waiting for turns, quarreling all the while, and fighting for the hedgehogs. And in a very short time, the queen was in a furious passion and went stamping about and shouting, "Off with his head!" or "Off with her head!" every once a minute. Never off with their head because she's a turf, as we've discussed. She doesn't respect other genders. Alice began to feel very uneasy. To be sure, she had not as yet had dispute with the queen, but she knew that it might happen any minute. And then, thought she, what would become of me? They're dreadfully fond of beheading people here. The great wonder is that there is anyone left alive. She was looking about for some way to escape and wondering whether she could get away without being seen, when she noticed a curious appearance in the air. It puzzled her very much at first, but after watching it a minute or two, she made it out to be a grin, and she said to herself, "It's the Cheshire Cat, now I shall have someone to talk to." Yeah, doesn't even ask her fucking pronouns, this bitch. Seriously, fuck the queen. How are you getting on? Said the cat, as soon as there was mouth enough for it to speak with. Alice waited till the eyes appeared, and then nodded. It's no use speaking to it, she thought, till its ears have come. Or at least one of them. That's such a fun fucking detail. That's so good. Well, the ears aren't here, so it can hear me. Hand, stop. Oh my god. In another minute, the whole head appeared. And then Alice put down her flamingo and began to account of the game, feeling very glad she had someone to listen to. The cat seemed to think that there was enough of it now in sight, and no more of it appeared. Just the head. What are your pronouns? Let me get this bitch's pronouns before I cut their head off. I don't think they play it all fairly, Alice began, in rather a complaining tone. And they all quarrel so dreadfully one can't hear oneself talk. And they don't seem to have any rules in particular. At least, if there are, nobody attends to them. And you've no idea how confusing it is. All the things being alive. For instance, there's the arch I've got to go through next, walking about to the other end of the ground. And I should have croqueted the queen's hedgehog just now, only it ran away when it saw mine coming. How do you like the queen? Said the cat in an uwu voice. It says low, but you know. Not at all, said Alice. She's so extremely... Just then, she noticed that the queen was close behind her, listening. So she went on, likely to win, that it's hardly worthwhile finishing the game. The queen smiled and passed on. She's dead. She's passed on. I don't know why I think that's so funny. Oh man, the queen's gonna win this game, and the queen's like, it did. Cause she's passed on. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. It's so dumb, but I think it's funny. Okay, passed on. She finally found happiness, and so she could die. She was cursed. And the way to break the curse was to feel happiness. Who are you talking to? Said the king, coming up to Alice and looking at the cat's head with great curiosity. It's a friend of mine, a Cheshire Cat, said Alice. Allow me to introduce it. I don't like the look of it at all, said the king. However, it may kiss my hand if it likes. I'd rather not, the cat remarked. Don't be impertinent, said the king, and don't look at me like that. He got behind Alice as he spoke. A cat may look at a king, said Alice. I've read that in some book, but I don't remember where. Well, it must be removed, said the king very decidedly, and he called the queen, who was passing at the moment. My dear, I wish you would have this cat removed. Queen got sent to the shadow. Good. That's where she belongs. The queen had only one way of settling all difficulties, great or small. Off with his head, she said, without even looking around. Off with you, just do it. I'll fetch the executioner myself, said the king eagerly, and he hurried off. Alice thought she might as well go back and see how the game was going on, as she heard the queen's voice in the distance, screaming with passion. She had already heard her sentence three of the players to be executed for having missed their turns, even though turns aren't defined. And she did not like the look of things at all, as the game was in such confusion that she never knew whether it was her turn or not. So she went off in search of her hedgehog. The hedgehog was engaged in a fight with Dr. Robotnik, which seemed to Alice an excellent opportunity for Croquet one of them with the other. The only difficulty was that her flamingo was gone across to the other side of the garden, where Alice could see it trying in a helpless sort of way to fly up into a tree. By the time she had caught the flamingo and brought it back, the fight was over, and the day was saved. Good job, Sonic. And both the hedgehogs were out of sight. But it doesn't matter much, thought Alice, as all the arches are gone from this side of the ground. So she tucked it away under her arm, that it might not escape again, and went back to have a little more conversation with her friend. Oh, she considers the Cheshire Cat her friend. Isn't that nice? When she got back to the Cheshire Cat, she was surprised to find quite a large crowd collected around it. There was a dispute going on between the executioner, the king, and the queen, who were all talking at once, while all the rest were quite silent and looked very uncomfortable. The moment Alice appeared, she was appealed to by all three to settle the question, and they repeated their arguments to her, though, as they all spoke at once, she found it very hard to make out exactly what they said. The executioner's argument was that you couldn't cut off a head unless there was a body to cut it off from, that he had never had to do such a thing before, and he wasn't going to begin with at his time of life. The king's argument was that anything that had a head could be beheaded, and that you weren't to talk nonsense. You're in the wrong story, idiot, for that. The queen's argument was that if something wasn't done about it in less than no time, she'd had everyone executed all around. This last remark that had made the whole party look so grave and anxious. Alice could think of nothing else to say, but it belongs to the Duchess. You'd better ask her about it. She's in prison, the queen said to the executioner. Fetch her here! And the executioner went off like an arrow. Boom! For all we know, the executioner is an arrow, because it tells one. I mean, there's a picture right here. They are also a card, but they have a cool bird mask, so that's something. The cat's head began fading away the moment he was gone, and by the time he had come back with the Duchess, it had entirely disappeared. So the king and the executioner ran wildly up and down looking for it, while the rest of the party went back to the game. Yeah, bird mask. Now, Chad, what do you think? Can you behead a head that doesn't have a body, but it's like alive? Could you? I think I would argue no. If it has a neck, you could behead it a little. Yeah, I was thinking that. If it has a neck, you could behead it a little. Here's the thing, right? The idea of beheading is like, okay, you kill someone by chopping off their head, by removing their head from the rest of their body. So if they don't die anyway, if there's no body to separate them from to kill them, then you don't behead them, right? I would say no. If there's no body to remove them from to kill them, yeah, just get the head out of there. Just get it out of here. Just push it away. You would need a neck, but if nothing else than a head, then there's no way to behead, right? Yeah, gotta get rid of the whole head for it to be beheading. And if the head is all you have, then you can't get rid of it, right? Yeah, you just kill it through another method, but that's not what we're doing here. We want to know if we can behead a head that is only a head and has no body. And no, I would argue no. Let's move on. Chapter thumb, come on. Give me the thumb. Okay, wait, I'll do this. Chapter 10. Chapter 10, which is called The Mock Turtle's Story. What voice did I give to the Duchess again? I think it was just also like a very hello, I'm the Duchess. It's like kind of the same as the Queen, but less screechy. Hello, I'm the Duchess. Yes, that's pretty good. That'll do for the Duchess. That'll work. You can't think of how glad I am to see you again, you dear old thing. Yeah, that was it. I was like the heavy accent and stuff. Said the Duchess as she tucked her arm affectionately into Alice's, and they walked off together. Alice was very glad to find her in such a pleasant temper, and thought to herself that perhaps it was only the pepper that had made her so savage when they met in the kitchen. When I'm a Duchess, she said to herself, not in a very hopeful tone though, I won't have any pepper in my kitchen at all. Soup does very well without.Maybe it's always pepper that makes people hot-tempered. She went on, very much pleased at having found a new kind of rule, and vinegar that makes them sour, and chamomile that makes them bitter, and barley sugar and such things that make children sweet-tempered. I only wish people knew that, and then they wouldn't be so stingy about it, you know? She had quite forgotten the Duchess by this time, and was a little startled when she heard her voice close to her ear. You're thinking about something, my dear, and that makes you forget to talk. I can't tell you just now what the moral of that is, but I shall remember it in a bit. Perhaps it hasn't one? Alice ventured to remark. Tut-tut, child, said the Duchess. Everything's got a moral, if only you can find it. And she squeezed herself up closer to Alice's side as she spoke. Okay, so this is like one of my favorite parts about the book. Alice in Wonderland was not written just because Lewis Carroll wanted to write a children's story. That is certainly part of it, but a big part of it is also because his other works kept getting criticized and analyzed because of the morals that they contained. They were always looking for more, like critics were like looking for morals in everything that he wrote, even when he didn't mean for anything. He just wanted to write a story that was like nice, and he wasn't looking to like impart some kind of lesson or anything. And he got really sick of it, that everyone was always like, oh, what's the moral behind this? So he wrote Alice in Wonderland, which is a completely batshit bonker story without any moral or lesson or proper narrative or anything at all. And then he inserted the Duchess as a character to shit on those critics. Which I love. Spite is powerful and great. Alice did not much like her keeping so close to her. First, because the Duchess was very ugly, okay, rude. Secondly, because she was exactly the right height to rest her chin on Alice's shoulder, and it was an uncomfortably sharp chin. However, she did not like to be rude, so she bore it as well as she could. Alice, you're rude all the time. Moral of the story, don't crawl into weird holes in the ground. No, you should do that, that's fun. You might meet a funny cat. Okay, this is Alice speaking. The game's going on rather better now, she said, by way of keeping up the conversation a little. 'Tis so, said the Duchess. And the moral of that is, oh, 'tis love that makes the world go round. What? Somebody said, Alice whispered, that it's done by everybody minding their own business. Ah, well, it means much the same thing, said the Duchess, digging her sharp little thing into Alice's shoulder as she added, and the moral of that is, take care of the sounds, and the sounds will take care of themselves. How fond she is of finding morals in things, Alice thought to herself. Let's see them try to derive any meaning out of this bullshit. Charles Dodgson, yeah. That's what it is. It's fucking beautiful. Charles Dodgson, that was the real name, right? I think so. I think you are correct. Sorry, that apparently happens when okay. It's because no, don't worry about it. I'm just hand stuff. It's fine. It does make it more fun, right? It's not something that's usually adapted because most people that adapt Alice in Wonderland try to insert morals into it. So they don't like the character that says that you shouldn't. Which that's why I dislike most Alice in Wonderland adaptations. Because they're like, oh, let's make it about Alice learning a lesson about self-worth or shut the fuck up, dude. No. You know? You should edit the model so it glitches when your hands freak out. I'm sadly very limited, so there's lots of stuff that I would like to do with the model, but that I can't. It's, you know, a shame. It's the program that I'm using. It's limited, you know? It's just a silly little girl having a silly little dream. That's right. How fond she is of finding morals in things, Alice thought to herself. I dare say you're wondering why I don't put my arm around your waist, said the Duchess after a pause. The reason is that I'm doubtful about the temper of your flamingo. Shall I try the experiment? He might bite, Alice cautiously replied, not feeling at all anxious to have the experiment tried. Very true, said the Duchess. Flamingos and mustard both bite, and the moral of that is, birds of a feather flock together. Why, they don't even like... Who doesn't like her cat, right? Silly mice. Only mustard isn't a bird, Alice remarked. Right as usual, said the Duchess. What a clear way you have of putting things. It's a mineral, I think, said Alice. No, is it? It's not, right? Isn't it from a plant? Anyway, of course it is, said the Duchess, who seemed ready to agree with anything that Alice said. There's a large mustard mine near here, and the moral of that is... Oh, God. Mustard is made from mustard seeds, yes. That was it. The more there is of mine, the less there is of yours. Oh, I know, exclaimed Alice, who had not attended to this last remark. It's a vegetable. It doesn't look like one, but it is. I quite agree with you, said the Duchess. And the moral of that is, be what you would seem to be. Or, if you'd like to put it more simply, never imagine yourself not to be otherwise than what it might appear to others, that what you were and might have been, and not otherwise than what you had been would have appeared to them to be otherwise. Oh my God. Oh God. This is the best part. This sucks. I fucking hate this character so much. Let's do that sentence again. And the moral of that is, be what you would seem to be, or, if you'd like to put it more simply, never imagine yourself not to be otherwise than what it might appear to others that you were or might have been, was not otherwise than what you had been would have appeared to them to be otherwise. What the fuck? Doesn't get it. Have you ever had a dream that was that you I think I should understand that better, Alice said very politely, if I had it written down, but I can't quite follow it as when you say it. Don't worry, Alice, when you see it written down, it also does not make any sense. That's nothing to what I could say if I what? That's nothing to what I could say if I chose. What? That's nothing to what I could say if I chose. Is that just like old grammar or something? That sentence makes no... I'm just chalking it up to the Duchess being a dumbass. The moral of that is, never be what you should never not become, rather than what you already are. Yeah, sure. The Duchess replied. So, there's nothing to what I could say if I chose, the Duchess replied in a pleased tone. Pray don't trouble yourself to say it any longer than that, said Alice.
Oh, don't talk about trouble, said the Duchess. I make you a present of everything I've said as yet.
Jesus Christ. A cheap sort of present, thought Alice. I'm glad they don't give birthday presents like that. But she did not venture to say it out loud.
Thinking again?
The Duchess asked, with another dig of her sharp little chin. I've a right to think, said Alice sharply, for she was beginning to feel a little worried.
Just about as much right, said the Duchess, as pigs have to fly.
But there, to Alice's great surprise, the Duchess's voice died away, even in the middle of her favorite word, moral, and the arm that was linked into hers began to tremble. Alice looked up, and there stood the Queen in front of them, with her arms folded, frowning like a thunderstorm. You know how thunderstorms frown? They have faces and eyebrows, and they can frown.
A fine day, Your Majesty,
the Duchess began, in a low, weak voice.
Now I give you a fair warning,
shouted the Queen, stamping on the ground as she spoke.
Either you or your head must be off, and that in about half no time. Take your choice.
These are some good morals, you guys. You guys are putting in chat. The Duchess took her choice and was gone in an instant.
Let's go on with the game,
the Queen said to Alice, and Alice was too much frightened to say a word, but slowly followed her back to the croquet ground. The other guests had taken advantage of the Queen's absence and were resting in the shade. However, the moment they saw her, they hurried back to the game, and the Queen merrily remarking that a moment's delay would cost them their lives. All the time they were playing, the Queen never left off quarreling with the other players and shouting,
"Off with his head," or "Off with her head."
Those whom she sentenced were taken into custody by the soldiers, who of course had to leave off being archers to do this, so that by the end of half an hour or so, there were no archers left. And all the players, except the King, the Queen, and Alice, were in custody and under a sentence of execution. Then the Queen left off, quite out of breath, and said to Alice,
"Have you seen the mock turtle yet?"
"No," said Alice. "I don't even know what a mock turtle is."
"It's the thing mock turtle soup is made out of,"
said the Queen. And that is the thing that I also looked up. It's like, it's soup. Turtle soup was apparently a thing, and they were like, well, turtles is expensive. We'll just make it with like something else, and we'll call it mock turtle soup. I think that's what it was, but I might be completely incorrect. Don't quote me on that.
"It's the thing mock turtle soup is made out of,"
said the Queen. "I never saw one, or heard of one," said Alice.
"Come on then,"
said the Queen,
"and he shall tell you his history."
As they walked off together, Alice heard the King say in a low voice to the company generally, "You're all pardoned. Come, that's a good thing." Or, "Come, that's a good thing." You know, because they're not gonna get killed. She said, oh no, wait, okay, that's Alice saying it. "Come, that's a good thing," she said to herself, for she had felt quite unhappy at the number of executions the Queen had ordered. They very soon came upon a griffin lying fast asleep in the sun.
"Up, lazy thing,"
said the Queen,
"and take this young lady to see the mock turtle, and to hear his history. I must go back and see after some executions I have ordered."
And she walked off, leaving Alice alone with the griffin. Alice did not quite like the look of the creature, but on the whole, she thought it would be quite as safe to stay with it as to go after that savage Queen, so she waited. The griffin sat up and rubbed its eyes. Then it watched the Queen till she was out of sight. Then it chuckled. Griffin voice, griffin voice. Ba ba. Ba da ba ba ba. No, optional. That is not the voice I will do. Nope, I can't even do that. No, I can't even do a Peter Griffin impersonation. I will not. I will not besmirch this beautiful work of literature with that garbage, okay? It's not happening. Griffin McElroy voice, okay, what is, I don't know. What would, What did that sound like? How do you do a griffin? I'm Griffin McElroy. It's me. I'm Griffin. That's awful. That sucks. I don't know. What does a griffin sound like? Caw, I'm a bird. This is what a griffin sounds like now. This is a... Yeah, you know, Griffin McElroy's famous catchphrase. Hey, it's me, Griffin. I'm Griffin McElroy, you know? Okay. Okay. The griffin sat up and rubbed its eyes. Then it watched the queen till she was out of sight. Then it chuckled. What fun! This is what a griffin sounds like. Fuck it. Said the griffin, half to itself, half to Alice. A gruff, proud voice anyway. I mean, I guess, wait, I know.
I'm sorry, Link. I can't give credit. Come back when you're a little, richer.
That's it, there we go.
What fun!
Said the griffin, half to itself, half to Alice. What is the fun? Said Alice.
Why, she,
said the griffin.
It's all her fancy, that. She never executes nobody, you know. Come on.
Everybody says come on here, thought Alice, as she went slowly after it. I never was so ordered around before in all my life, never. They had not gone far before they saw the mock turtle in the distance, sitting sad and alone on a little ledge of rock. And as they came nearer, Alice could hear him sighing, as if his heart would break. She pitied him deeply. What is his sorrow? She asked the griffin, and the griffin answered, very nearly in the same words as before.
It's all his fancy, that. He hasn't got no sorrow, you know. Come on.
So they went up to the mock turtle and looked at them with large eyes full of tears. Looked at them with large eyes full of tears, but said nothing.
This here young lady, said the griffin, she wants to know your history, she do.
Okay, now this is real sad.
I'll tell it to her,
said the mock turtle in a deep, hollow tone.
Sit down, both of you, and don't speak a word till I've finished.
So they sat down, and nobody spoke for some minutes. Alice thought to herself, I don't see how he can ever finish if he doesn't begin. But she waited patiently.
Once,
said the mock turtle at last, with a deep sigh,
I was a real turtle.
These words were followed by a very long silence, broken only by an occasional exclamation of... I don't even know what this is. What? HJCKRRH. What the fuck? It doesn't say that he's like laughing or anything. I don't know. From the griffin and the constant heavy sobbing of the mock turtle. Alice was very nearly getting up and saying, yeah, a sob noise maybe, a growl, a stifled laugh. I don't know. No, that's not the mock turtle. It's the griffin, but the griffin is gay. That is true. The griffin is confirmed gay now. Alice was very nearly getting up and saying, "Thank you, sir, for your interesting story," but she could not help thinking there must be more to come, so she sat still and said nothing.
When we were little,
the mock turtle went on at last, more calmly, though still sobbing a little now and then.
We went to school in the sea. The master was an old turtle. We used to call him Tortoise.
Why did you call him Tortoise if he wasn't one? Alice asked.
We called him Tortoise because he taught us, said the mock turtle angrily. Really, you are very dull.
Now, I might be wrong, but I actually think that tortoises are a subspecies of turtle, so it would still be a turtle, but I might be wrong. But I think I looked that up some time ago. Anyway.
You ought to...
Oh, no, wait.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself for asking such a simple question,
added the griffin. And then they both sat silent and looked at poor Alice, who felt ready to sink into the earth. At last the griffin said to the mock turtle,
"Drive on, old fellow! Don't be all day about it!"
And he went on in these words.
Yes, we went to school in the sea, though you mayn't believe it.
I never said I didn't, interrupted Alice.
You did,
said the mock turtle.
Hold your tongue,
added the griffin before Alice could speak again. The Mock Turtle went on.
We had the best of educations. In fact, we went to school every day.
I've been to a day school too, said Alice. You needn't be proud as all that. Alice, you're rich. Fuck off. Bitch. Tortoises can't swim. No, but it doesn't matter. There's turtles. There's sea turtles and there's land turtles. I think maybe. Tortoises are turtles in a similar way to how squares are rectangles. That would fit right into this book, honestly. Something like that. I read that sentence and I'm like, what? Sea turtle and land turtle is the Dutch way of saying it. Is it? Hold on. Yeah, they're turtles. Tortoises are turtles. Says it on Wikipedia. I'm right. Where's the air turtles? Woo! Angie Play Games. Hi. Thank you so much for following. Hi. Welcome. Anyway, I'm right. Turtles are tortoises are turtles. I win. Yay. Hand stop. No. The hand was celebrating. So anyway, so she's like, I also went to school because I'm a rich bitch. Fuck you. And I was like, I've been to school too, said Alice. You needn't be so proud of all that.
With extras?
Asked the Mock Turtle a little anxiously. Yes, said Alice. We learned French and music. I saw you after on Twitter and brought me here. Oh, that's so nice. Wow. Well, I'm glad that you were convinced by my avatar to come watch. I don't know how to do business talk or anything. I'm very bad at that. Ooh! Oh my god. Fibri, that's so nice of you. enjoy that sub. I lost where I was. Yes, said Alice, we learned French and music.
And washing?
Said the Mock Turtle. Certainly not, said Alice indignantly.
Ah, then yours wasn't really a good school,
said the Mock Turtle in a tone of great relief.
Now at ours, they had at the end of the bill, French, music, and washing extra.
You couldn't have wanted it much, said Alice, living at the bottom of the sea.
I couldn't afford to learn it,
said the Mock Turtle with a sigh.
I only took the regular course.
Yeah, and washing, that's what my servants are for.
You don't even know how to wash your clothes, you're stinky.
What was that? Inquired.
I only took the regular course.
What was that? Inquired Alice.
Reeling and writhing, of course, to begin with.
That's not reading and writing. Reeling and writhing. It's different. And I have to make sure, because you can't read it, and I have to make sure that that my pronunciation wasn't confusing. Whatever, it's fine.
Reeling and writhing, of course, to begin with,
the Mock Turtle replied. And then the different... Oh, no, wait.
And then the different branches of arithmetic, ambition, distraction, uglification, and derision.
I never heard of uglification, Alice ventured to say. What is it? The Griffin lifted up both its paws in surprise. I don't know what... This is a weird thing that's happening where I go backwards. I don't know whether that happens. The turtle should say that, to be honest. It's not a sea turtle, it's a mock turtle. Different. And I believe it has a cow's head. It doesn't have any drawings in here, but usually it's depicted with a cow's head for some reason. Oh, because they use cow meat in mock turtle soup, probably. Oh my god, I just now got that. Oh my god, that's so clever. Anyway, the Griffin lifted up both its paws in surprise. What Griffin voice?
Lap. Never heard of uglifying, it exclaimed. You know what to beautify is, I suppose.
Yes, said Alice doubtfully. It means to make anything prettier.
Rope, you want it? Bombs, rope, lamp oil, you want it? It's yours, my friend, as long as you have enough rubies. I'm sorry, Alice. I can't give credit. Come back when you're a little, richer.
Always fun to do that. Yes, said Alice doubtfully. It means to make anything prettier.
Well then,
The Griffin went on.
if you don't know what to uglify is, you are a simpleton.
Alice did not feel encouraged to ask any more questions about it, so she turned to the Mock Turtle and said, "What else did you learn?" The is very important to get that right.
Well,
Hold on, what was it, Mock Turtle?
well, there was mastery,
The Mock Turtle replied, counting off the subjects on his flapper.
mystery, ancient and modern, with seography, then drawing. The drawing master was an old Quadrille that used to come once a week. He taught us drawing, stretching, and fainting in coils.
What was that like? Said Alice.
Well, I can't show it to myself.
The Mock Turtle said.
I'm too stiff, and the Griffin never learned it. Hadn't time, said the Griffin. I went to the classical master, though. He was an old crab, he was. I never went to him,
The Mock Turtle said with a sigh.
He taught laughing and grief, they used to say.
Great little Richard. Nice. Okay. Fun fact, uglification is a process in JavaScript compression for deploying scripts to web pages. Oh! I wonder if they took it from this here book here. That'd be fun. Removes all unnecessary spaces and makes all the variable names one letter long. Okay, there we go. And you're not. Okay, we're good. Gotta find out where I was in the book. That's not where I am. Okay, whoa, my god, oh my god. I'm glitching hard. Blah, blah, blah.
I never went to him,
The Mock Turtle said with a sigh.
He taught laughing and grief, they used to say. So he did,
Said the Griffin, sighing in his turn. Oh, wait.
So he did.
No, wait, wrong character.
Lamp, rope, so he did,
Said the Griffin, sighing in his turn, and both creatures hid their faces in their paws. Okay, guess they're sad. And how many hours a day did you do lessons? Said Alice in a hurry to change the subject.
10 hours the first day,
Said the Mock Turtle.
9 the next, and so on.
What a curious plan! Exclaimed Alice.
That's...
No.
No,
I keep having to do it to get like the right voice.
that's the reason they're called lessons.
The Griffin remarked.
Because they lesson from day to day.
Oh my god. This whole book is just puns. This was quite a new idea to Alice, and she thought it over a little before she made her next remark. Then the 11th day must have been a holiday?
Of course it was.
Said the Mock Turtle. And how did you manage on the 12th? Alice went on eagerly.
That's enough about lessons.
The Griffin interrupted in a very decided tone.
Tell us something about the games now.
Okay, chapter, the last time I can do this, here we go. Chapter 10. Chapter 10. The Lobster's Quadrille. Tell us something about the video games. The Griffin's a fucking gamer, because he's Griffin McElroy, and Griffin McElroy is a gamer. The lobster quadrille. The mock turtle sighed deeply and drew the back of one flapper across his eyes. He looked at Alice and tried to speak, but for a minute or two, sobs choked his voice.
Same as if he had a bone in his throat,
said the griffin, and it set to work shaking him and punching him in the back. Hell yeah. Next game. At last the mock turtle recovered his voice, and with tears running down his cheeks, he went on again.
You may not have lived under the sea.
I haven't, said Alice.
And perhaps you were never introduced to a lobster.
Alice began to say, I once tasted, but checked herself hastily and said, no, never.
So you could have no idea. What a delightful thing. A lobster quadrille.
No, indeed, said Alice. What sort of dance is it? Oh, it's a dance, apparently. Okay.
Why,
said the griffin,
you first form into a line along the seashore. 2 lines,
cried the mock turtle.
Seals, turtles, salmon, and so on. Then, when you've cleared all the jellyfish out of the way... That generally takes some time,
interrupted the griffin. Macarena.
You advance twice. Each with a lobster as a partner,
cried the griffin.
Of course.
The mock turtle said.
Advance twice. Set the partners. Change lobsters and retire in the same order,
continued the griffin.
Then, you know, the mock turtle.
Hold on a second.
Then, you know,
the mock turtle went on.
You throw
the lobsters, shouted the griffin with a bound into the air.
As far out to sea as you can.
Swim after them, screamed the griffin.
Turtles.
This is fucking torturous to read. Doing these voices, like having to switch between normal voice, fucking Morshoe impersonation, which I feel like I can only do properly if I'm doing the lines, and it's very hard to do.
Turtles somersault in the sea,
cried the mock turtle, capering wildly about.
Change lobsters again,
yelled the griffin at the top of his voice.
Back to land again, and that's all the first figure,
said the mock turtle, suddenly dropping his voice, and the two creatures who had been jumping about like mad things all this time sat down again very sadly and quietly and looked at Alice. It must be a very pretty dance, said Alice timidly.
Would you like to see a little of it?
Said the mock turtle. Very much indeed, said Alice.
Come, let's try the first figure,
said the mock turtle to the griffin.
We can do it without lobsters, you know. Which shall sing? Oh, you sing,
said the griffin.
I've forgotten the words.
So they began solemnly dancing around and round Alice, every now and then treading on her toes when they passed too close and waving their forepaws to mark the time, while the mock turtles sang this very slowly and sadly. Here I go, a whole sad song.
Will you walk a little faster? Said a withing to a snail. There's a porpoise close behind us, and he's treading on my tail. See how eagerly the lobsters and the turtles all advance? They are waiting on the shingle. Will you come and join the dance? Will you come join the dance? Will you join the dance?
Jesus Christ, hold on. I'm gonna have a sippy. Just a sippy real quick. Stop being sad, Zoe. You're not sad. Zoe's having a good time. Strawberry milk. So good. Stretching. Okay. I'm not a good, like, I don't do coming up with a song to go with lyrics like a melody. I don't do that good. Here we go.
You can really have no notion how delightful it will be when they take us up and throw us with the lobsters out to sea. But the snail replied, too far, and gave a look askance. Said he thanked the withing kindly, but he would not join the dance. Would not, could not join the dance. Would not, could not join the dance. What matters it how far we go? His scaly friend replied. There is another shore, you know, upon the other side. The further off from England, the nearer is to France. Then turn not pale, beloved snail, but come and join the dance. Will you join the dance? Will you join the dance?
Sex. I could see that, but now it's too late. I've already finished. Thank you. It's a very interesting dance to watch, said Alice, feeling very glad that it was over at last. And I do so like that curious song about the withing. Or withing, I don't know. Withing, I think.
Oh, as to the withing, said the Mock Turtle, you've seen them, of course.
Yes, said Alice. I've often seen them at She checked herself hastily.
I don't know where Din may be,
said the Mock Turtle.
But if you've seen them so often, of course you know what they're like.
I believe so, Alice replied thoughtfully. They have their tails in their mouths, and they're all over crumbs. Okay, what's a withing again? Oh yeah, it's just like some fish. Okay. A very unremarkable one. It's kind of mean, but you know. Alice is, she's affecting me with her rudeness. They have their tails in their mouths, and they're all over crumbs.
You're wrong about the crumbs, said the Mock Turtle. Crumbs would all wash off in the sea, but they have their tails in their mouths, and the reason is...
Here the Mock Turtle yawned and shut his eyes. Where was I?
Tell her about the reason and all that,
he said to the Griffin.
Lampoil, the reason is,
said the Griffin,
that they would go with the lobsters to the dance, so they got thrown out to sea. So they had to fall a long way. So they got their tails fast in their mouths, so they couldn't get them out again. That's all.
Thank you, said Alice. It's very interesting. I never knew so much about withing before.
I can tell you more about that. If you have enough rubies, I can tell you more than that, if you like,
said the Griffin.
Do you know why it's called a withing?
I never thought about it, said Alice. Why?
It does the boots and shoes. Oh, no, wait. It does the boots and shoes,
the Griffin replied very solemnly. Alice was thoroughly puzzled. Does the boots and shoes? She repeated in a wondering tone. Why? Oh, no, wait.
Why, what are your shoes done with?
Said the Griffin.
I mean, what makes them so shiny?
Confirmed, Alice has shiny shoes. This is important info. Add it to the wiki page. Do it. No. Don't. Alice looked down at them and considered a little before she gave her answer. They're done with blacking, I believe. Okay, bye optional. Thanks for coming. Bye. Have a nice night.
Boots and shoes under the sea,
the Griffin went on in a deep voice,
are done with withing. Now you know.
And what are they made of? Alice asked in a tone of great curiosity.
Soles and eels, of course,
the Griffin replied rather impatiently.
Any shrimp could have told you that.
If I'd been the withing, said Alice, whose thoughts were still running on the song, I'd have said to the purpose, come back, please. We don't want you with us. Oh, keep back, please. I was confused. I was like, come back, but it was keep back.
They were obligated.
Oh no, wait, this is the Mock Turtle.
They were obligated to have him with them.
the Mock Turtle said.
No wise fish would go anywhere without a porpoise.
Wouldn't it really? Said Alice in a tone of great surprise.
Of course not,
said the Mock Turtle.
Why, if a fish came to me and told me he was going on a journey, I should say, with what purpose?
Ha 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 ha! Don't you mean purpose? Said Alice.
I mean what I say,
the Mock Turtle replied in an offended tone, and the Gryphon added,
Come, let's hear some of your adventures.
I could tell you my adventures beginning from this morning, said Alice a little timidly, but it's no use going back to yesterday because I was a bit different person back then.
Explain all that,
said the Mock Turtle.
No, the adventures first,
said the Gryphon in an impatient tone.
Explanations take such a dreadful time.
So Alice began telling them her adventures from the time when she first saw the White Rabbit. She was a little nervous about it just at first. The two creatures got so close to her, one on each side, and opened their eyes and mouths so very wide. Ah! But she gained courage as she went on. Her listeners were perfectly quiet, till she got to the part about her repeating, "You're our old father William," to the caterpillar, and the words all coming differently. And then the Mock Turtle drew a long breath and said,
That's very curious. It's all about as curious as it can be,
said the Gryphon. It
all came different,
the Mock Turtle repeated thoughtfully.
I should like to hear her try and repeat something now. Tell her to begin.
She looked at the Gryphon. He looked at the Gryphon as he thought it had some kind of authority over Alice.
Stand up and repeat, "'Tis the voice of the sluggard,"
said the Gryphon. How the creatures ordered one about and make one repeat lessons, thought Alice. I might just as well be at school at once. However, she got up and began to repeat it, but her head was so full of the Lobster Quadrille that she could hardly know what she was saying, and the words came very queer indeed. Gay, nice, "'Tis the voice of the lobster," I heard him declare. "You have baked me too brown, I must sugar my hair. As a duck with its eyelids, so he with his nose trims his belt and his buttons and turns out his toes." This is the weirdest one so far. "When the sands are all dry, he is gay as a lark, nice, and will walk in contemptuous tones of the shark. But when the tide rises and sharks are around, his voice has a timid and tremulous sound."
That's different from what I used to say when I was a child,
said the Gryphon.
Well, I never heard it before,
said the Mock Turtle.
But it sounds uncommon nonsense.
Alice said nothing. She had sat down again with her face on her hands, wondering if anything would ever happen in a natural way again.
I should like to have it explained,
said the Mock Turtle.
She can't explain it, said the Gryphon hastily. Go on with the next verse. How about his toes? The Mock Turtle persisted. How could he turn them out with his nose, you know?
Yes, gay as a lark. These birds gay. See, I know what a lark is. I think. Wait, is it a bird? Oh my god, now I have to know. Lark. Yeah. I know what a lark is. It's a little birdie. It's the first position in dancing, Alice said, but she was dreadfully puzzled by the whole thing and longed to change the subject. Go on with the next verse, the Gryphon repeated impatiently. It begins, I passed by his garden. Alice did not dare to disobey, though she felt sure it would all come out wrong, and she went on in a trembling voice. I passed by his garden and marked with one eye how the owl and the panther were sharing a pie. The panther took pie crust and gravy and meat, while the owl had the dish as its share of the treat. When the pie was all finished, the owl, as a boon, was kindly permitted to pocket the spoon, while the panther received knife and fork with a growl, and concluded the banquet with, What is the use of repeating all this stuff? The Mock Turtle interrupted. If you don't explain it as you go on, it's by far the most confusing thing I've ever heard. Yes, I think you'd better leave off, said the Gryphon, and Alice was only too glad to do so.
Shall we try another figure of the Lobster Quadrille?
The Griffin went on.
Or would you like the Mock Turtle to sing you a song?
This is so... this goes on for so long and like nothing happens. It's so good. It's so dumb. I love this book. You know, like nothing matters throughout the whole book, obviously. But usually Alice is going from place to place or meeting new characters, or something happens to her, or she changes or whatever. She's just talking for how many pages now? 1, 2, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Like 18 pages now. It's just 18 pages of fucking nothing. It's 2 chapters. This is like 2 chapters of nothing. This entire book is just Alice doing that one blank emoji. It's so good. It's like, I feel like the most time out of every character, out of every the Mock Turtle and the Griffin have like the most screen time, so to speak, of every character except for Alice, I think. You know, like it's like, oh, the Cheshire Cat is like the character that everyone knows, but it's like it's barely in it. It's 2 scenes. Would you like the Mock Turtle to sing a song? Oh, a song, please, if the Mock Turtle would be so kind. Alice replied so eagerly that the Griffin said in a rather offended tone,
No accounting for tastes. Sing her turtle soup, will you, old fellow?
The Mock Turtle sighed deeply and began, in a voice sometimes choked with sobs, to sing this. Oh boy, I get to be sad again.
This is what the Mock Turtle sounds like, yeah. Beautiful soup, so rich, so green. Waiting in a hot tureen. Who for such dainties would not stoop? Soup of the evening, beautiful soup. Soup of the evening, beautiful soup. Beautiful soup.
That's what it says.
Beautiful soup.
It just keeps going. It's just all beautiful soup. Oh my god.
Beautiful soup, who cares for fish? Game or any other dish. Who would not give all else for 2 pennyworth only? A beautiful soup. Pennyworths of only beautiful soup.
This is so dumb. That is sex. Oh my god. Oh god. Okay.
Beautiful soup.
I'm doing the whole thing.
Beautiful soup. Soup of the evening. Beautiful soup.
That's what it says. The last full soup is caps lock.
Chorus again,
cried the Griffin, and the Mock Turtle had just begun to repeat it when a cry of "The trial's beginning!" was heard in the distance.
Come on,
cried the Griffin, and taking Alice on the hand, it hurried off without waiting for the end of the song. What trial is it? Alice panted as she ran, but the Griffin only answered, Come on, and ran the faster, while more and more faintly came, carried on the breezes that followed them, the melancholy words,
Soup of the evening, beautiful soup.
And so we enter chapter 11, which I cannot do with my hands because I don't have enough fingers. That's something for the future, I guess. Chapter 11, Who Stole the Tarts? We've got a little bit of a mystery on our hands here, Chet. I hope you're ready to take notes because we have to solve this mystery. This is now a choose your own adventure book. If we don't pick the right person, then Alice gets killed or something. So it's on you. This is on you, guys. You gotta save Alice. The king and the queen of hearts were seated on their throne. Take notes. When they arrived, with a great crowd assembled about them, all sorts of little birds and beasts, as well as a whole pack of cards. The knave was standing before them in chains, with a soldier on each side to guard him, and near the king was the white rabbit, with a trumpet in one hand and a scroll of parchment in the other. And in the very middle of the court was a table, with a large dish of tarts upon it. They looked so good that it made Alice quite hungry to look at them. I wish they'd get the trial done, she thought, and hand round the refreshments. But there seemed to be no chance of this, so she began looking at everything about her to pass away the time. Alice had never been in a court of justice before, but she had read about them in books, and she was quite pleased to find that she knew the name of nearly everything there. That's the judge, she said to herself, because of his great wig. The judge, by the way, was the king, and as he wore his crown over the wig, he did not look at all comfortable, and it was certainly not becoming. And that's the jury box, thought Alice. And those 12 creatures, she was obliged to say creatures, you see, because some of them are animals and some were birds. Alice doesn't consider birds animals. Oh my god, this bitch. I suppose they are the jurors, she said. She said this last word 2 or 3 times to herself, being rather proud of it. Jurors. For she thought, and rightly too, that very few little girls of her age knew the meaning of it at all. However, jurymen would have done just as well. The 12 jurors were all writhing very busily on slates. What are you doing? Oh no, wait. What are you doing? Alice whispered to the griffin. What are they doing? Oh my god, fuck. What are they doing? Alice whispered to the griffin. They can't have anything to put down yet before the trial's begun, but you guys have. You have to write down all of the fucking clues. Don't forget it. Birds are ghosts. Alright. I mean, they can fly. Birds can fly. Yeah, that makes sense. Wait, hold on a second. Okay, hold on. Maybe one of you would know. If I use Ace Attorney music during this scene, do you think I'd get in trouble for that? Do you think that would get copyright striked? Because I could be really good, you know? If I could use some fucking Ace Attorney music in here. You don't think I'd get in trouble? A bit. I'd get a bit in trouble. But a bit? What is that? What's a bit? A bit is a joke. That's dumb. Should I risk it? A drill bit. Capcom strikes you, but for the model, not to me. Why? I made it myself, and it's only inspired by Mega Man Legends. I'm just gonna do it. Ace Attorney music. Let's see, what's a good one? We don't want... I haven't played any Ace Attorney musics, so I don't know the names of all the songs and stuff. What's just like court case music that doesn't go too hard? Which would that be? Is it this? Fairly certain Capcom doesn't strike Twitch streamers for music usage unless it's specifically Wild Fang, the Mega Man X8 opening song in Japan only, and that is actually owned by John Dark Records. Okay, alright. If they're not animals, then they're either plants, rocks, or ghosts. Of the 3, I'd say birds are the most similar to ghosts. That is fair. I can see that. It has like good music. It says it's called questioning, so I would sooner think it was like when you're interrogating. Maybe it's during a case. I don't know. I haven't played them. Is this good music? Is this court case music? This'll do, right? We're in a court, and you guys have to save Alice. This is the court music. Hell yeah, I did such a good job. Okay. The 12 jurors were all writing very busily on slates. What are they doing? Alice whispered to the griffin. They can't have anything to put down yet before the trial's begun.
They're putting down their names,
The griffin whispered in reply.
for fear that they could forget them before the end of the trial.
Stupid things, Alice began in a loud, indignant voice, but she stopped herself hastily. For the white rabbit cried out, "Silence in the court!" And the king put on his spectacles and looked anxiously around to make out who was talking. Alice could see, as well as if she were looking over their shoulders, that all the jurors were writing down stupid things on their slates, and she could even make out that one of them didn't know how to spell stupid, and that he had to ask his neighbor to tell him. A nice muddle their slates will be in before the trial's over, thought Alice. One of the jurors had a pencil that squeaked. This, of course, Alice could not stand, and she went round the court and got behind him, and very soon found an opportunity of taking it away. She did it so quickly that the poor little juror, it was Bill, the lizard, remember? That she, knocked out of the chimney? I could not make out at all what had become of it, so after hunting all about for it, he was obliged to write with one finger for the rest of the day, and this was of very little use as it left no mark on the slate. Alice, you're so fucking mean! You're obstructing justice also? Yeah, she doesn't know that the moment the music begins, the court begins. Herald, read the execution, said the king. On this, the white rabbit blew 3 blasts on the trumpet and then unrolled the parchment scroll and read as follows. The Queen of Hearts, she made some tarts, all on a summer day. The Knave of Hearts, he stole the tarts and took them quite away. That was so mean, right, of Alice to do. Why the fuck is she always shitting on Bill? What the fuck does she have against Bill? It's always Bill. Everyone's always hating on Bill. Justice for Bill. Hashtag justice for Bill. We have to save Bill. Consider your... Oh no, wait, the king. Consider your verdict, the king said to the jury. Not yet, not yet, the rabbit hastily interrupted. There's a great deal to come before that. Call the first witness, said the king, and the white rabbit blew 3 blasts on the trumpet and called out, First witness! The first witness was the hatter. He came in with a teacup in one hand and a piece of bread and butter in the other. What voice did I have for the hatter again? Oh, right.
Hello, I'm the Mad Hatter.
Where the fuck is the line?
I beg your pardon, your majesty,
He began.
for bringing these in, but I hadn't quite finished my tea when I was sent for.
You are to have finished,
Said the king.
When did you begin?
The hatter looked at the March Hare, who had followed him into the court, arm in arm with the Dormouse.
14th of March, I think it was,
He said.
15th.
Wait, what does the March Hare sound like? Doesn't matter. 16th, added the Dormouse. 15th, said the March Hare. 16th, isn't it? Write it down, the king said to the jury, and the jury eagerly wrote down all 3 dates on their slates, and then added them up and reduced the answer by shilling and pence. That's an old currency.
Take off your hat,
The king said to the hatter.
It isn't mine,
Said the hatter.
Stolen!
The king exclaimed, turning to the jury, who instantly made a memorandum of the fact.
I keep them to sell.
The hatter added as an explanation.
I've none of my own, I'm a hatter.
Hence the queen put on her spectacles and began staring hard at the hatter, who turned pale and fidgeted.
Give your evidence, said the king, and don't be nervous, or I'll have you executed on the spot.
This did not seem to encourage the witness at all. He kept shifting from one foot to the other, looking easily at the queen, and in his confusion he bit a large piece out of his teacup instead of the bread and butter. That served as the inspiration for all of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Did you know? It's definitely true. Crunch. Love the crunch. Just at this moment, Alice felt a very curious sensation, which puzzled her a good deal until she made out what it was. She was beginning to grow larger again, and she thought at first that she would get up and leave the court, but on second thought she decided to remain where she was as long as there was room for her.
I wish you wouldn't squeeze so,
said the Dormouse, who was sitting next to her.
I can hardly breathe.
I can't help it, Alice said very meekly. I'm growing.
You've no right to grow here,
said the Dormouse. Don't talk nonsense, said Alice more boldly. You know you're growing too. Yes,
yes, but I grow at a reasonable pace,
said the Dormouse.
Not in that ridiculous fashion.
And he got up very sulkily and crossed over to the other side of the court. Bye, Dormouse. All this time, the Queen had never left off staring at the Hatter, and just as the Dormouse crossed the court, she said to one of the officers of the court,
Bring me the list of the singers in the last concert!
On which the wretched Hatter trembled so that he shook both his shoes off. Okay. All right. Given your evidence, the king repeated angrily. Give your evidence. Give, not given. Give. Gimme. Give your evidence. The king. No, this is becoming the queen. Give your evidence. Give it. Okay, hold on. Give your evidence, the king repeated angrily, or I'll have you executed whether you're nervous or not.
I'm a poor man, your majesty,
the Hatter began in a trembling voice,
and I hadn't but just begun my tea, not above a week or so. And what with the bread and butter getting so thin, and the twinkling of the tea.
The twinkling of the what?
Said the king.
It began with the tea,
the Hatter replied.
Of course twinkling begins with a T, said the king sharply. Do you think me for a dunce? Go on.
I'm a very poor man,
the Hatter went on,
and most things twinkled after that. Only the March Hare said,
I didn't,
the March Hare interrupted in a great hurry.
You did,
said the Hatter. This is so... God. When you're just reading it to someone, then it's like, this is fun. And then you read it out loud and you're like, what the fuck is any of this? It's very hard to read. Read aloud anyway.
You did,
said the Hatter.
I deny it,
said the March Hare, who has the same voice as the Queen for some reason.
He denies it,
said the king, who has a very similar voice to both of those.
Leave out that part.
Well, at any rate,
the Dormouse said. No, hold on. God damn it, this is hard.
Well, at any rate, the Dormouse said,
the Hatter went on, looking anxiously round to see if he would deny it too, but the Dormouse denied nothing, being fast asleep.
After that, continued the Hatter, I cut some more bread and butter.
Doesn't even say what the Dormouse said. It's like, the Dormouse said, and then aims to continue, and then doesn't. Okay, they mentioned it. They actually follow up on that.
After that, continued the Hatter, I cut some more bread and butter.
But what did the Dormouse say? One of the jury asked.
That I can't remember, said the Hatter.
God damn it.
You must remember, remarked the king, or I'll have you executed.
The miserable Hatter dropped his teacup and bread and butter and went down to one knee.
I'm a poor man, your majesty,
he began.
You're a very poor speaker,
said the king, who is sounding more and more like the queen. Here one of the guinea pigs cheered, but was immediately suppressed by the officers of the court. As that is rather a hard word, I will just explain to you how it is done. What? Oh, okay. Here one of the guinea pigs cheered and was immediately suppressed by the officers of the court. As that is rather a hard word, I will just explain to you how it is done. They had a large canvas bag which tied up at the mouth with strings. Into this they slipped the guinea pig, head first, and then sat upon it. Okay, awesome. I'm glad I've seen that done, thought Alice. I've so often read in the newspapers at the end of trials there was some attempt at applause, which was immediately suppressed by the officers of the court, and I never understood what it meant until now. Yes, Alice, that's right. That's exactly what happens.
If that is all you know about it, you may stand down, continued the king.
I can't go no lower, said the Hatter. I'm on the floor as it is.
Then you may sit down, the king replied.
Here the other guinea pig cheered and was suppressed. Goodbye, guinea pigs. Come, that finishes the guinea pigs, thought Alice. Now we shall get on better. Alice also hates guinea pigs, it turns out. I'd rather finish my tea, said the Hatter, with an anxious look at the Queen, who was reading the list of singers. You may go, said the King, and the Hatter hurriedly left the court without even waiting to put his shoes on. And just take his head off outside, the Queen added to one of the officers, but the Hatter was out of sight before the officers could get to the door. She was like, oh, I had to kill that one, do it. Just anyone's kill. Phone, shut up. Call the next witness, said the King. I get lost so easily now, as we reach the end of this book, and my brain has seriously been fucked up by all of this. Like every other sentence, I'm like, where the fuck? What was I doing? Where am I? What? Huh? Who? What? Who am I? What? Where was I? Now I actually lost where I was. Oh, yeah. Call the next witness, said the King. The next witness was the Duchess's cook. She carried the pepper box in her hand, and Alice guessed who it was even before she got into the court by the way the people near the door began sneezing all at once. Give your evidence, said the King. I don't remember what she sounded like. Sean, said the cook. Nah, it must be I had a funny voice for the cook, didn't I? What was it? What's a cook sound like? Italian. Sean, mamma mia, I shan't give you the evidence, said the cook. The King looked anxiously at the White Rabbit, who said in a low voice, Your Majesty must cross-examine this witness. Well, if I must, the King said, with a melancholy air, and after folding his arms and frowning at the cook till his eyes were nearly out of sight. Hold on, let me frown. I can only beautifully wink. I can't frown right now. That works. As we're nearly out of sight, he said in a deep voice, What are tarts made of? Pepper, mostly, said the cook. Treacle, said a sleepy voice behind her. Call her that dormouse! The Queen shrieked out. Behead that dormouse! Turn that dormouse out of court! Suppress him! Pinch him! Off with his whiskers! For some minutes, the whole court was in confusion, getting the dormouse. Oh my god! Zanzi version 20! Oh my god, rating! Oh my god, thank you! Woo! Hold on, apparently it's customary to wait a minute or so until everyone has had their ads, and then I can say hi to them. So I will wait until I see some sort of message in chat letting me know, oh, they are here, and I can say hi to them all. I wait, anxiously, expectantly, excitedly. There's a message. We're here alone. Okay, hi. Hi, thank you so much for rating. Hi, so good, so nice of you. So nice to see you all. I introduced myself, I guess. I don't know. I'm very bad at these things. This is optional. And I'm Zoe. I am a VTuber. So bad at this. I like to play games, and I'm here. Actual captain. Oh yeah, oh my god. Vivi, thank you so much for giving yet more gift subscriptions. That's so nice of you guys. Thank you. Enjoy those subscriptions, everyone. I don't know what to say. I never know what to say. I'm Zoe. I play games. I'm here. Hi. I'm reading Alice in Wonderland. Thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it. I'm just gonna read now. We're almost out of the chord music, I think. Or not yet, I don't know. Where was I? Oh yeah, so the Queen was screaming about the dormouse that had to die and such. For some minutes, the whole court was in confusion, getting the dormouse turned out, and by the time they had settled down again, the cook had disappeared. Never mind, said the King with an air of great relief. Call the next witness. And he added in an undertone to the Queen, Really, my dear, you must cross-examine the next witness. It quite makes my forehead ache. Alice watched the White Rabbit as he fumbled over the list, feeling very curious to see what the next witness would be like. For they haven't got much evidence yet, she said to herself. Imagine her surprise when the White Rabbit read out at the top of his shrill little voice the name Alice! That's her name, in case you didn't know. Chapter 12, which I think is the last chapter. I think. Alice's evidence. Here, cried Alice, quite forgetting in the flurry of the moment how large she had grown in the last few minutes, and she jumped up in such a hurry that she tipped over the jury box with the edge of her skirt, upsetting all the jurymen onto the heads of the crowd below, and there they lay, sprawling about, reminding her very much of a globe of goldfish she had accidentally upset the week before. Don't be mean to fish, Alice. You're just so mean all the time. Oh, I beg your pardon, she exclaimed in a tone of great dismay, and began picking them up again as quickly as she could, for the accident of the goldfish kept running in her head, and she had a vague sort of idea that they must be collected at once and put back into the jury box, or they would die. Yeah, Alice, I'm sure they will. The trial cannot proceed, said the king in a very grave voice, until all the jurymen are back in their proper places. All. Oh, I guess she was kind of right. He repeated with great emphasis, looking hard at Alice as he said so. Alice looked at the jury box and saw that in her haste she had put the lizard in head backwards, and the poor little thing was waving it still about in a melancholy way, being quite unable to move. Again, Bill gets the short end of the stick. Did Lewis Carroll know someone named Bill that he just didn't like or something? And because this book was written entirely in spite already, so it's not it's not unlikely, I would say. She soon got it out again and put it right. Not that it signifies much, she said to herself. I should think it would be quite as much use in the trial one way up as the other. As soon as the jury had a little recovered, As soon as the jury had a little recovered from the shock of being upset, and their slates and pencils had been found and handed back to them, they set to work very diligently writing out a history of the accident, all except the lizard, who seemed too much overcome to do anything but sit with its mouth open, gazing up into the roof of the court. Woo! Tiny! Oh my god! Another one! Another raid! That's so good! Thank you! Hi! And Comfy Mike TV, thank you so much for following! Hi! Hi everyone! And hi T. Oh wait, hold on. Wait, do we have any mods in chat who can do a shout out for T? If you do !SO and then add and then her username? I'll do it myself otherwise, but this is T. She's super duper nice. And I like her. And she's a friend. And I like her and she's nice. And she's fun. Hi everyone, thanks so much for rating. I'm Zoe. I never know what to say to promote myself. No, your face is fun. Do a point, whatever. It's I can be kind of gay. You haven't seen the extent of my gayness yet. I'll just do it myself, hold on. Okay, here we go. There she is. This music is getting on my fucking nerves. I'm gonna put it back in Animal Crossing music now. I don't care, that is more fitting because we're in a court case. Oh, whoops. There we go. No, don't do that, T. No. Oh wait, what's the hold on, what game is that? What game is the medium? No, I guess you can circle. Sorry, I forgot how I phrased my support message, my shout out message. What is the medium? I forgot the game. Tell me about it later. Or tell me about it now, and then we could talk about it, I guess. As I keep reading. A fairly new horror game with tank controls. It's harkening back to the old Resident Evil days. Reading, words, where was I? As he puts the lizard back, and the lizard's kind of dumb. Oh yeah. He seemed too much overcome to do anything but sit with his mouth open, gazing up into the roof of the court. What do you know about this business? The king said to Alice. Oh my god! farm friend. Hi, thank you so much for following. Good luck with your crops. I hope they do good, farm friend. Yeah, we're reading. This is a reading stream. I'm reading Alice in Wonderland. We've almost finished. We're at the final chapter, I think. Nothing, said Alice. Nothing whatsoever, persisted the king. Nothing whatsoever, said Alice. That's very important, the king said, turning to the jury. They were just beginning to write this down on their slates when the White Rabbit interrupted. Unimportant, your majesty means, of course, he said in a very respectful tone, but frowning and making another... Oh my god! Comfy gave Tiny subscription. Thank you so much. That's so nice of you. Thank you. It is... I love me some reading while drawing. Oh, you're drawing. Nice. We'll probably be doing another community reward goal for another reading, for another book after we finish this one. So keep an eye out for that one, you know? Reading words. I'm almost done with this book. Where was I? Yes. Unimportant, your majesty means, of course, he said in a very respectful tone, but frowning and making faces at him as he spoke. Unimportant, of course, I meant, the king hastily said, and went on to himself in an undertone. Unimportant, important, as if he were trying which words sounded best. Some of the jury wrote it down important and some unimportant. Alice could see this as she was near enough to look over their slates. But it doesn't matter a bit, she thought to herself. At this moment, the king, who had been for some time busily writing in his notebook, called out, "Silence!" and read out from his book, "Rule 42, all persons more than a mile high to leave the court." I was not signifying height with my other hand. That's a glitch. I'm glitching. I'm an unfinished video game character, so that happens sometimes. Everybody looked at Alice. "I'm not a mile high," said Alice. "You are," said the king. "Nearly 2 miles high," added the queen, who sounds awful. Well, I shan't go, at any rate," said Alice. "Besides, that's not a regular rule. You invented it just now." "It's the oldest rule in the book," said the king. "Then it ought to be number 1, said Alice. The king turned pale and shut his notebook hastily. "Consider your verdict," he said to the jury in a low, trembling voice. "There's more evidence to..." Oh, God. These 3 people just have like the same voice. The king, the queen, and the rabbit. "There's more evidence to come yet, please your majesty," said the White Rabbit, jumping up in a great hurry. This paper has just been picked up." And he's got a little paper, I guess. "What's in it?" said the queen. "I haven't opened it yet," said the White Rabbit. Oh my god, there's a typo! Found a fucking typo in the book! It said the White Rabbit. E-bit. The R is an E. E-bit. E-bit? 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 Well, not rabbit in any case. But it seems to be a letter written by the prisoner to somebody. "It must have been that," said the king, "unless it was written by nobody, which isn't usual, you know." No. E-A-B-B-I-T. The R is an E. That's how it was misspelled. I wonder if it was like that in the original book or only in this adaptation. Well, it's the exact same story, but this publication. "Whom is it directed to?" said one of the jurymen. "It isn't directed at all, said the White Rabbit. "In fact, there's nothing written on the outside." He unfolded the paper as he spoke and added, "It isn't a letter after all. It's a set of verses." We're gonna get one more poem before this is over. Excuse me. "Are they in the prisoner's handwriting?" asked another of the jurymen. "No, they're not," said the White Rabbit. "And that's the queerest thing about it." God, I love how often they use the word queer and gay in this book. It's great. The jury all looked puzzled. "He must have imitated somebody else's hand," said the king. The jury all brightened up again. "Please, your majesty," said the knave. I didn't write it, and I can't prove I did. There's no name signed at the end." "If you didn't sign it,"
said the king. That only makes the matter worse. You must have meant some mischief, or else you'd have signed your name like an honest man. There was a general clapping of hands at this. Please clap. It was the first really clever thing the king had said that day. That proves his guilt, said the queen. It proves nothing of the sort, said Alice. Why, you don't even know what they're about. Read them, said the king. It uses outdated words, but it makes it fun. Like we can laugh about it, you know? Read them, said the king. The White Rabbit put on his spectacles, and it was time for me to take my antibiotics. So give me just a second while I do that. Love me some girl juice. Alright, where was I? Read them, said the king. Finally, I will read. The White Rabbit put on his spectacles. I need Esther, that XC patch. New Gauntlet Queen update just dropped. The White Rabbit put on his fucking spectacles. Oh my god. Where shall I begin, please, your majesty? He asked. Begin at the beginning, the king said gravely, and go on till you come to the end, and then stop. Uh-huh. Coincidentally, that's how we've been reading this book. These were the verses the White Rabbit read. They told me you had been to her, and mentioned me to him. She gave me a good character, but said I could not swim. He sent them word I had not gone. We know it to be true. If she should push the matter on, what would become of you? I gave her 1. They gave him 2. You gave us 3, and more. They all returned from him to you, though they were mine before. If I or she should chance to be involved in this affair, he trusts you to set them free, exactly as we were. My notion was that you had been, before she had this fit, an obstacle that came between him and ourselves and it. Don't let him know she liked them best, for this must never be, or ever be, in fact, a secret kept from all the rest, between yourself and me. Wow. That's the most important piece of evidence we've heard yet, said the king, rubbing his hands. One of my hands is holding the book, so I can't. But just imagine my face. Substitute hand. Said the king, rubbing his hands. So now let the jury, if any of them can explain it, said Alice. She had grown so large in the last few minutes that she wasn't a bit afraid of interrupting him. I'll give him 6 pence. I don't believe there was an atom of meaning in it. The jury all wrote down on their slates, she doesn't believe there's an atom of meaning in it, but none of them attempted to explain the paper. If there's no meaning in it, said the king, that saves a world of trouble, you know, and we needn't try to find any, we needn't try to find any. And yet I don't know, he went on, spreading out the verses on his knee and looking at them with one eye. One eye, wow, damn. It's like, they're just like looking in different directions, I guess. That's pretty impressive. And yet I seem to see some meaning in them after all. I gotta, for context, for those who weren't here for like all of this, reading all of Alice in Wonderland out loud makes you realize how difficult it is to comprehend, and really does something to your ability to read stuff. I'm gonna have to read some more conventional literature after this to get that back. Okay, so if there's I seem to see some meaning in them after all. Said I could not swim. You can't swim, can you? He added, turning to the knave. The knave shook his head sadly. Do I look like it? He said, which he certainly did not, being made entirely of cardboard. All right, so far, said the king, and he went on, muttering over the verses to himself. We know it to be true. That's the jury, of course. I gave her 1, they gave him 2. Why, that must be what he did with the tarts, you know. But it goes on. They all returned from him to you. Oh, no, wait, this is Alice. But it goes on. They all returned from him to you, said Alice. Why, there they are, said the king triumphantly, pointing to the tarts on the table. Nothing can be clearer than that. Then again, before she had this fit, you never had fits, my dear, I think, he said to the queen. Never, said the queen, furiously, throwing an inkstand at the lizard as he spoke. The Bill again! Why always Bill? Why does this book hate Bill so much? I have to get going, but I had a lot of fun watching. I'll definitely come back for. Aw, thank you, Fawn. That's really nice. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Have a nice rest of your day, and see you next time. Bye. Never! Never! Said the queen, furiously, throwing an inkstand at poor Bill, the lizard, as she spoke. The unfortunate little Bill had left off writing on his slate with one finger, as he found it made no mark. But now, he hastily began again, using the ink that was trickling down his face, as long as it lasted. Aw, he's trying so hard. Seriously, like hashtag save Bill or whatever it was that I said earlier. Then the words don't fit you, said the king, looking round the court with a smile. There was a dead silence. It's a pun, the king added in an angry tone, and everybody laughed. Ha ha ha, please laugh. Let the jury consider their verdict, the king said, and for about the 20th time that day, No, said the queen. Sentence first, verdict afterwards. Stuff and nonsense, said Alice loudly. The idea of having a sentence first? Hold your tongue, said the queen, turning purple. I won't, said Alice. Off with her head, the queen shouted at the top of her voice. Nobody moved. Who cares for you, said Alice. She had grown to her full size by this time. You're nothing but a pack of cards. At this, the whole pack rose up into the air and came flying down upon her. She gave a little scream, half of fright and half of anger, and tried to beat them off, and found herself lying on the bank, with her head in the lap of her sister, who was gently brushing away some dead leaves that had fluttered down from the trees upon her face. Wake up, Alice, dear, said her sister. Why, what a long sleep you've had. Oh, I've had such a curious dream, said Alice, and she told her sister, as well as she could remember them, all these strange adventures of hers that you have just been reading about. And when she had finished, her sister kissed her and said, It was a curious dream, dear, certainly, but now run into your tea, it's getting late. So Alice got up and ran off, thinking while she ran, as well as she might, what a wonderful dream it had been. But her sister sat still just as she left her, leaning her head on her hand, watching the setting sun, and thinking of little Alice and all the wonderful adventures, till she too began dreaming after a fashion. And this was her dream. First, she dreamt of little Alice herself. Once again, the tiny hands were clasped upon her knee, and the bright, eager eyes were looking up into hers. She could hear the very tones of her voice, and see that queer little toss of her head, and keep back the wandering hair that would always get into her eyes. And still as she listened, or seemed to listen, the whole place about her came alive with the strange creatures of her little sister's dream. The long grass rustled at her feet as the white rabbit hurried by. The frightened mouse splashed his way through the neighboring pool. She could hear the rattle of the teacups as the March Hare and his friends shared their never-ending meal, and the shrill voice of the queen ordered off her unfortunate guests to execution. Once more the pig baby was sneezing on the Dutch's knee, while plates and dishes crashing around it. Once more the shriek of the griffin, the squeaking of the lizard's slate pencil, poor Bill, #Bill, and the choking of the suppressed guinea pigs filled the air, mixed up with the distant sob of the miserable mock turtle. So she sat on, with closed eyes, and half believed herself in Wonderland, though she knew she had but to open them again, and all would change to dull reality. The grass would only be rustling in the wind, and the pool rippling in the waves of the reeds. The rattling teacups would change to tinkling sheep bells, and the queen's shrill cries to the voice of the shepherd boy, and the sneeze of the baby, the shriek of the griffin, and all the other queer noises, would change, she knew, to the confused clamor of the busy farmyard, while the lowing of the cattle in the distance would take the place of the mock turtle's heavy sobs. Lastly, she pictured to herself how this same little sister of hers would, in the aftertime, be herself a grown woman, and how she would keep, through all her riper years, the simple and loving heart of her childhood, and how she would gather about her other little children and make their eyes bright and eager with many a strange tale, perhaps even with the dream of Wonderland of long ago, and how she would feel with all their simple sorrows, and find a pleasure in all their simple joys, remembering her own child life and the happy summer days. The end. I didn't remember that last bit at all, where it's the sister. Not even a little. No memory of that at all. But that's the end of the book. Is that an added thing in this publication? Now I'm curious. Anyway, what did y'all think? That was the end of the book. Woo! Hey, Yeroon. Thanks so much for following. Hi, welcome. I hope you liked the stream. I guess you did because you followed. It was wild. It was. Alice in Wonderland is wild. And now I'm. It was weird. It was also weird. Alice in Wonderland is also weird. I agree, and it's fun. It's just wacky, silly fun. And spite. And Alice is kind of rude, and she's fun. It's what a fun book. And the Duchess sucks. And it's got a sequel. Did you guys know that? It's got a sequel called Alice Through the Looking Glass, which is also in here. It's both books in one. It's two books in one. It's hold on. It's wow, magic trick. Two books in one. This is the first time you heard the original. Yeah, lots of people haven't actually read the original because they just watch the Disney animated movie, which I don't like that much, by the way. But that's just me. But I have my reasons for it. One of them being that they're we should implant a moral on. We need to make Alice nicer. And it's no, you don't actually. She could just be rude and not learn anything. Yeah, well, you can, if you want, you can go to the VOD channel and still watch the original there. Have I uploaded that one yet? I will anyway. And I'll upload this one too, after 24 hours, because that's when it's allowed. Anyway, yeah, that was really fun, I think, personally speaking. But now, I am going to, real quick, get one of my other versions of Alice in Wonderland and see if that's also got, the last bit about the sister. Oh yeah, man, I can do all sorts of stuff with my gauntlets. Ooh, woo, ooh. You know? I got hands. I can throw hands, bitch. Anyway, be right back. I'll be right back. Okay, hi, I'm back. And I have here with me the Annotated Alice, the definitive edition, Lewis Carroll, introduction and notes by Martin Gardner, original illustrations by John Tenniel. So let's see. This is Through the Looking Glass. Through the Looking Glass still. Okay, almost there. Yeah, it's in here. Okay. The part of her sister reminiscing and stuff. I guess I just forgot that part because it's boring, because there's no wacky shit happening in it. So that makes sense. All right. Well, I'm done reading, but we've only been going for 2 hours and 15 minutes, and my streams usually last 3.5 hours. So I should have considered, because I totally knew that I would be done early, but I forgot, as I am prone to do. But what do I do? What should the rest of the stream be? Some sort of nice quick one-off game, or I don't want to do a game that I
don't want to like start a new playthrough. I don't have any like playthroughs going on, so some kind of one-off or something. I don't even know. Give me some suggestions, guys. What should we do with the rest of the stream? I'm not well organized. Melon, you gotta go. That's bad. Well, at least you saw everything. Superliminal. Superliminal. Hold on. Superliminal. I think I've played that. Hand, stop. Okay. Superliminal. Oh, I don't have. Wait, hold on a second. Wait, is that the game where you're like, you look at stuff and then when it's like far away, and you pick it up and then it's close and then it's smaller? It's kind of appropriate for Alice in Wonderland, but I've beaten that game already, so. Unfortunately, I just joined a few minutes, so I don't know what you're playing. Games. I've played games. But yeah, I think that Superliminal one, I've already played that, but it would be fun and appropriate though. I could, Fall Guys is a thing that I could play. I don't know. I don't have anything lined up. Well, I want to go for like an hour. Something I can play for like an hour. Dark Souls speed. Nah. I could make this my first. Wait, okay. I have this idea that I have planned of fishing percent, which is but I want to make like a thing out of that. It's an idea for a stream. I guess we could just talk. We could do like a Q&A or something, you know? An AMA. What's the difference between a Q&A and an AMA? One is like question and answer, and the one is just like ask me anything, right? We could just talk, if that's okay with you guys. So I have this idea that's called fishing percent, where I play games in which fishing is a thing. Like Minecraft, you have a fishing rod. Final Fantasy 15 has a fishing minigame, etc. Right? And I speedrun it. I tried to got my hands. I tried to get I tried to do the fishing as fast as possible. That's my idea. And I'm not a speedrunner, so I don't do good strategies or anything. I think it seems like a fun idea, right? I think so. But yeah, like if you guys have any questions or whatever for me, well, I might still like think of something to play, but right now I don't really know anything, and maybe that's like okay. I guess it could just be like a shorter stream. How am I? I don't know, I'm doing pretty good. I had a good time reading one of my favorite stories again, and finding out that there's a whole like epilogue at the end that I just completely forgot about somehow. I don't know how that happened. So that was fun, and I like how active the chat is. You know, it makes me happy. It's like, oh, so many people, and they like talking to me and each other and stuff, and that's fun. Do you have a favorite game or series? One of my favorite game series is Kirby. I love Kirby so much. Even though, like, if we're being 100% honest, the mainline Kirby games don't really innovate that much. The last, like, 3 games have basically just been the same thing. But it's like, they're just also nice and fun. Boyo! Hi! Yeah, they're just also fun and cute and simple. And I don't know, they're nice. They're like a comfort thing, you know? That's like my favorite series. I've played almost all of them, every mainline game, and then most spin-offs. My favorite game, though, is not a Kirby game. It's Rayman 2, which influenced me very strongly when I was little, for like my love for nature, and I guess like art styles that like do a lot with a little, you know, like this. And just like a really solid platformer. It's really good. The music, oh wow, oh, phew. And this beautiful magical world that like it leaves so much to the imagination. You know, it's like here's like all the pieces, but now you can like kind of fill it in for yourself. Like what is this world? How does it work? You know, it's a really cool, fun, unique fantasy world that I really like. Other favorite franchises are like Borderlands, and that's it. That's all I like. No, I also like Darksiders quite a bit. Also really cool like fantasy stuff, interpretation that I like. And really good art style. Wow. What do you guys? What is your favorite video games? Hey, no, I was just gonna get into the song and then it goes away. Oh. How do you get those gauntlets to work? Ah, good question. Well, first, you slice off your hands and you replace them with robot hands. Okay. But from a purely realistic technical point. Hey, stop! I have a little device called Hold on, my chair's being annoying. Sorry. I have a little device called a Leap Motion Controller. It's essentially 2 cameras in a little box that you put on your desk or above your screen, or you tape it to your chest or whatever the fuck, and then it's specifically made to detect hands, like what's happening here right now. My Leap Motion Controller is right here on my desk in front of me. And my VTuber software VC Face is compatible with it, so it gets the data of like, oh, where is the hands, blah blah blah. However, as you may have noticed, it's not perfect, and part of that is because the lighting conditions in my recording booth thingy right here are not ideal. But I'm working on that. I have a new lamp. I just have to hang it up above, and then I will have better lighting, and it'll be nice and good and such. And then there'll be less problems, I hope. So that's how my gauntlets work. Yeah, and then sometimes stuff like that happens. It's, you know, I'm like a video game character, so the in-lore explanation is just because I'm buggy. I was unfinished, so, you know. It is super rad, right? I like it. I think it's cool. Bum, 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 bum. I like Animal Crossing music. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, also, I'm okay. No promises yet because you know, I don't want. I don't know. We don't know what's gonna happen. But I might have a capture card very soon-ish. So then I can play console games on stream, like Mario and Kirby, and Monster Hunter Rise when it releases. That's very exciting because I love Monster Hunter. Oh, that's another one of my favorite franchises is Monster Hunter. I got into it with Monster Hunter 3 or Try on the Nintendo Wii. Why did they call it Try when they could have kept it 3? Because then it rhymes with Wii, and then it could spell as Trii, you know? Anyway, so I love the franchise so much. So I'm very excited for Rise, and I'll be able to stream it, which is really exciting for multiple reasons. Not just because I like it, and not just because it'll probably make like an exciting stream or whatever, but because you guys can join, right? Because we can open a lobby and then be like, oh, this is the code for the lobby, and then you guys can like enter the code in your game, or I guess with controllers, so you can enter the code in your game, and then you can join in on hunts, and that'll be really exciting, right? Yeah. Which weapon do you use most often? The Insect Glaive. You might think it's dual blade because it's modes like punching, but it's not, because I love the flippy, big movementy stuff of the Insect Glaive. Though, dual blade, close second, together with charge blade. Those are my favorite weapons. I technically started with Try. but it was a silly child who could not comprehend any of the mechanics. Aww, radio baby. It's okay. I mean, when I played Rayman 2 for the first time, I was too scared to go around any corners because I was afraid there would be scary robot pirates there. And sometimes there were. So I was justified in my fear. I quite like using it 2 and 4. Nice. Dude, oh, also, I'm so glad that they're bringing back the bugs, right? Because, sorry, not as in the Insect Glaive bugs, but the bug monsters, because they're so unique and fun and special, and they took them out of world, and I was really angry about that. Also, real quick, I'm gonna change the thing. Okay, and update. So yeah, I'm really glad that they're bringing back bug monsters, and I love a lot of the new designs that they're based on like Japanese folklore, yokai, and stuff. That's so cool, and kind of a surprise, honestly, that they hadn't done that before. Like the Mizutsune would arguably be based on a kitsune from like the name, you know, but it's like it's not really. It's a soap fox. Like there's nothing specifically like fox spirit about it, I would argue. But they're bringing it back, and that's great because I love the Mizutsune. It's one of my favorite monsters. My favorite. Who can guess my favorite monster? I bet no one. It's really easy if you think about it. If you think about who my favorite monster would be, it's very obvious. Unless you don't know them, of course. But if you know them, then it's like, yeah, no, it's that one. It's definitely, yeah, it's Brachydios. That's right. Good job. You got it. The purple one with neon fists. That is the same one. Good job. Brachydios is my favorite. They butchered the Brachydios gunner armor when they brought it into World. They just completely destroyed it. It was the fucking best shit. It was the best suit of armor in Monster Hunter history of all time. Forever. And they fucked it up because they took off the really good big braces. Bracers, and they like changed the skirt to make it less good. They put in like a boob window, even it's a small one, but it's there. And the original didn't fucking have it. The original had like cool neon glowy stuff on the chest, and it was awesome. It sucks how much I ruined it. I'm so angry about it. I'm still angry. I'm gonna die angry. I'm gonna die mad about it. I fucking hate Capcom. Capcom sucks. No. Well, no, not suck. Capcom is deeply flawed. Let's say that. Yeah. Deeply flawed. But Brachydios is fucking great. For context, it's a big blue dinosaur with fists that explode. So you can see how it would be my favorite. You know? You know, I think next time that I do a stream where I might end early, I should just have a backup planned, maybe. I think that would be smart, you know? The only Monster Hunter I played was 4 Ultimate, but never beat it, and that pissed me off. Monster Hunter games takes like so long to beat though, because it's like, okay, I got to the big boss, and then the game goes, no, that was halfway. And then you get to the next one, and you beat him, and the game goes, that was 2/3. And it's like, okay, how long does this keep going for? And in the case of World, it's like forever. Really good to have a plan B. Yeah, I think maybe I'll just be, oh, you never beat the Brachydios. Oh, I get it. Aw. Well, I mean, it's good that you didn't kill my baby, my boy, my little friend. But yeah, I think I might just like, hi, this is optional. I think I might just end the stream pretty soon. Because like I'm not doing anything now, you know? But if you want to engage in further discussion with me, you can join my Discord or respond to my tweets or whatever the hell. Behold, here are my social medias. I don't really know why I have my Twitch on here also, because that's where we are. I should probably just get rid of that or replace it with something. Anyway, these are social medias where you can follow me, and if you do !Discord in chat, you get a link to my Discord. Okay. A question, because I want to figure out the time zones and when to catch you. Are you in the US? No, I am not. Sorry. I usually stream at 7 p.m. My local time, which is 12. It's like the middle of the day, 12 CEST, that time zone. I am in CEST. The other one that I know is CST. Yeah, I'm a European. Hi. Thank you, Mistral, for the link. Yeah, if you follow me on, if you join the Discord, you are, like I always announce the the stream of the day up front. Sometimes I do it on other social medias, especially Twitter. Oftentimes I'll forget, but I always do it on Discord. So you can follow me there and get the scoop. So then you'll know, you know, like in advance when it's gonna be. Yeah, I would love to have you there. It's a fun Discord where we talk about all sorts of things and memes, and you can share your art with people and stuff if you do art or like music or whatever. And that's really cool. It is an extremely hectic place though, just like me. But yeah, I think that'll be it. If it's not too personal, what is your nationality? I am Dutch. Hi. And I just now noticed that not only do my gauntlets kind of blend into this background, but my crown blends into the background as well. Yay! Well, usually there's a game here, so I guess it's not that big a deal, but still. But yeah, I'm Dutch. Does code count as art? Yeah, sure. If it's like a creative thing you do, so sure. But yeah, that'll be the end of the stream, I guess. So thank you all very much for coming. I appreciate you for being here and watching and chatting and lurking. It's all great. And yeah, I really hope you'll be here next time, which is Thursday, when we play Minecraft with the gang. That'll be a fun time. It's been a while now because last week I was like tired or something. I don't remember what happened. That's a week ago. I don't know things. It's way too long. I'm stupid. I don't remember things. So yeah, hope to see you there. Hope to see you on maybe on the social medias, Discord, whatever the hell. I don't know how to promote myself. I'm very bad at that. Yeah, thank you all so much. I hope you had a good time. I know I did. God, that sounds so fucking generic. Again, I don't know how to sell myself. Thanks. Bye. Bye, everyone. Thank you for coming. Bye-bye. I love you.